Happy Easter. It's with great joy that we gather on this Easter morning. Being the fourth of 8, I always love when the family is gathered, and so today it makes me very happy to have all of you with us this morning. Now, Father John and I were nervous. We were worried that today, when you celebrate with all of your relatives, that you'd be sitting around the dining room table and you're going to say how great Easter morning Mass was, and they're going to talk about the sprinkling, right? And you say, yeah, our priest barely got us wet. You won't have that problem. You're welcome. But it is good that we start that way. These days of mourning and now of celebration, the most sacred time of the year, the Easter Triduum, Holy Thursday, the institution of the priesthood, and most importantly, the Eucharist. Then we journeyed with Christ to the cross, a great symbol of his love for us. And we rested with him, those long liturgies. Good Friday, when we venerated the cross, that sign of Christ's love for us. And then last night we gathered with those to be baptized, those who've chosen to enter Christ's church. And so we start that great joy when we're no longer sad, that Christ is not dead in the tomb where we have no hope, but he has truly risen. And so we gather with that Easter joy this day, that we gather with that excitement in these holy moments. And we're reminded of our baptism, the renewal of baptismal promises which will come, that we do not follow Satan and his empty promises, but we throw off all of that for the risen Lord. That we were washed clean in baptism, we were claimed for Christ, that we received the light of Christ to always be burning within us. That's why last night, if you've never been to the Easter Vigil, you should come. We don't have marshmallows, but we do have an Easter fire, okay? And from that Easter fire is that risen Lord, the light of Christ comes into the church, and the church slowly lights up with all the candles lit. None of the lights are on, but it was a beautiful image of the light of Christ coming to us. And so we have our new Paschal candle, of which our baptismal candles were lit. That is the light of Christ to be burning within us always. And as our second reading reminds us today, that we are to be heaven-focused, to keep our eyes focused on what is above, not what is below here, suffering and all the other things of life, the strive to be the best and the top and this and the most likes and all of those things. None of it matters. What matters is Christ, is what he has done for us. That we were dead in our sin, and we have been raised to do new life in his resurrection. We've been amazed at that call we received on Ash Wednesday. Repent and believe in the gospel. The number of people who availed themselves in great humility to the sacrament of reconciliation this Lent, that we might reconcile ourselves to Christ in his love and mercy. And so that is how we keep our eyes heaven-focused on what is above, what lays before us. I was praying with our gospel, and there was a beautiful line in there. Why do you seek the living among the dead? That they come on that third day, yes, all those things spoken of the Lord, but yet they came in sorrow to anoint his body at the tomb. If we can't, he's dead, but at least we can be close to him in some way. So they wanted to be close to him, and they get there, and imagine their surprise when the tomb is empty. As one of the other Gospels tells us, they were afraid of who came to take the Lord away. As I was praying with that image, why do you seek the living among the dead? I had a flashback in my memory. I had the great honor and privilege to visit the Holy Land, to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where the tomb of Jesus is. And if you go during the day, it's like any, sadly, now kind of touristy place or pilgrimage. You're waiting in this line to go into the tomb and out, in and out, and up to the Calvary, and it was just kind of chaotic. But I had the great privilege to spend the night in that church, in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. They don't want you to sleep in there. You're on vigil, you're praying. And so you're in and out of the tomb of Christ, and I was able to sit in the tomb of Christ. And I was like, I was so excited, right? Yeah, this is where Jesus died. This is where he was laid to rest. And I was sitting and I was praying and I was praying, and Jesus wasn't there. I'm like, come on, man, I'm in this holy place, Lord. I'm doing my part, let's go. And very clearly, a grace that I hold very dear to my heart, I am not here. And then I went down the hall, the chapel, where the tabernacle was. And there was Jesus. There was Jesus in the Eucharist. He wasn't in the tomb. Like the reading tells us, he wasn't there. That Jesus truly is risen. That's why I love these days sitting in the sanctuary. It's strange, Good Friday, Holy Saturday. Jesus isn't there. He's not with us. He's dead in the tomb. And the church has a weird feeling because Christ isn't here. That's what sets us apart. That's what the red candle represents. Lets us know that the risen Lord is here. And so let us remember to seek the living among the living. That we come every Sunday to live the Easter joy. That's why Sundays don't count in our Lenten fasts. If you didn't know that, you know for next year, okay? But that's why they don't count, because they're mini Easters. That we celebrate the resurrection on the solemnity, the highest feast days of the church. And so for the next 8 days, we celebrate Easter, the octave of Easter. That every day we treat as a solemnity of Easter. And so we are to constantly be about what is above, the resurrection, paradise in heaven, that Christ has given us the opportunity to heaven, to seek the grace he wants to give him. But the only way we can achieve heaven is if we seek him. We seek Christ among the living. We seek him in the Eucharist. Every Sunday we gather here in church because Jesus has a grace he wants to give us, and we must be present to receive it. And so I encourage us, let us constantly live as Easter people. Those who have been baptized, who have received the light of Christ, to live differently, to live for what is above, not what is below. So let us daily, weekly, come to the Lord, especially today, thank him for what he's done for us, for his death on the cross and his resurrection, that he restored our fallen humanity to grace. Let us always seek Christ not among the dead, to not live as though it's just a memorial, but no, Jesus truly is present, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Eucharist. Let us receive him today with that great Easter joy, to seek him every Sunday in the Eucharist, that we might always be close to Christ here on earth, that we might dwell with him forever in the paradise of heaven.